Hi, Professor. This is Asmar, and as I approach session 8 of strategy, I have all these thoughts and concepts and different dimensions and different pieces in my mind. So I just like to briefly, instead of writing it out, just like to very briefly summarize, and then you can correct me if my understanding is correct, and please add value into so that I better understand how these things are interlinked and they complement each other. So what my understanding is that there are two basic aspects of strategy. One is related to business strategy, and the other one is corporate strategy. So what we have read in the first 4 or 5 sections is primarily business strategy. And in that business strategy, to identify that, we studied Porter's 5 forces, which help us identify areas where we can find competitive advantage. And Porter's 5 forces also help us to identify where probably competitive advantage doesn't lie. So that's one aspect. And then after that, there are 2 tools which we can actually use. One is the McKinsey value chain, which are the 6 steps, and the other one is the Porter's value chain, which is the primary and secondary activities that actually help us kind of organize our thoughts on where we can find competitive advantage in terms of using resources and then building capabilities. So those 2 tools of value chain can help us identify also competitive advantage and identify areas of competitive advantage. So that's that. So that's primarily the business strategy, which is related to a business unit or a corporate or a company into one business. Now, post session 5 or session 6, what we are learning is the corporate strategy, and corporate strategy is different from business strategy. And corporate strategy is primarily about 3 things. One is vertical integration, second one is multinationality, and third one is diversification. And these 3 pillars of corporate strategy are totally different from one another. They're not mutually exclusive. I mean, they're kind of interlinked, but they're different. And each one is to be approached differently. So if we talk about diversification, then in that we again have those 3 tests of Porter that we need to see whenever we have to diversify or we're about to take a decision. We need to let that opportunity pass through those 3 tests. And then after that, if we are thinking about vertically integrating our business, either upwards or downwards, or backwards or forwards or whatever, so like these 2. So we also need to weigh the pros and cons of vertical integration. So and whether we are taking a decision to diversify or we are taking a decision to vertically integrate, we have to keep in mind these 4 factors, which is the resources or capabilities, transaction costs, and corporate complexity. So that's what my understanding of these 2 things of business and corporate strategy. So please help me understand if this understanding is correct. I thank you for listening to this. Thank you so much.